Greetings from Canada. Right back at you. All right, let's try to get some power into this airplane, and let's hope that this time it's not going to freeze on us like it did the last time I flew in. Well, that was Africa. When I flew in North America, it was fine. All right, let's look at the overhead battery. That's good. And external power.
3320, good afternoon.
3320 Tower, good afternoon.
3320, stand number 6, destination Pacific, ATR75, registration February.
You know, with all these screens, you'd think I'd have a monitor that I could put the chat on.
3320 Eva to expect runway 11,
And I
100 degrees,
don't.
13 knots.
I guess I do.
Temperature 21, dew point 12, QNH 1023.
Just don't trust that
Time
display.
check
That
1,
display
2,
always
26.
freezes up. Yeah, it
Report
stopped
for
working
startup.
already. So that's why I got it on my phone.
Thank you, 3320.
Okay. Don't know if you... Yeah, you can see that on the overhead camera. This thing here. We've now got text in here that is actually showing us what's in this left display here, which is using that SPAD Next software, and they just updated it today to support the 777. Which is great. I guess we could get an ATIS while we wait for everything to power up.
Temperature 30, dew point 26, QNH 1011, landing runway 02 left, departing runway 02 center, transition level 130, advise on initial contact, you have information India. Changi Airport information India. 0144 Zulu, wind 330 at review clouds at 1800, ceiling 30,000 broken, temperature 30, dew point 26, QNH 1011, landing runway 02 left, departing runway 02 center, transition level 130, advise on initial contact, you have information India.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board Singapore Airlines flight from Singapore to Jakarta. My name is Jan, and I am the captain of this flight. We are currently preparing for departure, and we will be taking off shortly. Thank you for choosing Singapore Airlines. Enjoy your flight.
Please, destination Addis, flight level 340, via start, departure runway 11, cabin 145.
Alright. Let's see if we can get GSX to do some boarding for us.
Boarding requested.
Hello and welcome aboard. My name is Mary and I am the cabin crew member on this flight. As you could hear from our captain, we are currently preparing for departure and we will be taking off shortly. Please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened and your seat back and tray table are in the upright position. Please turn off all personal electronic devices, including laptops and cell phones. Smoking is prohibited for the duration of the flight. If you have any questions or need assistance, please don't hesitate to ask me or one of my colleagues.
Temperature 21, 2.12,
Pilots boarding started.
QNH 1024,
Alright.
07, and for departure, stroke 5275.
Doors, cargo doors. Aft and forward opening. Does not seem to ever care about the passenger doors, though I feel like the passenger loading has not been working.
Alpha Tango, if the third clear, Zivat Petanum, flight level 90
Either way, I should open that first.
Hi, it's me again. I just thought I'll share some information with you. Our flight today will take approximately 1 hour and 22 minutes. The weather in Jakarta is partly cloudy. We expect a smooth flight with a small chance of light turbulences. Please relax and enjoy the flight.
Okay, that wasn't my voice, but it was my voice, but it was AI generated, which is creepy and cool. Let's do our GPS position. So we've got that. Now we've got stuff on the screens, which is great. We can do the window heats. Actually, let's go run through a checklist here. What do we have? Oxygen. I'd like to... Okay, pilots have boarded. That's good. Oxygen is here. Sounds good. Let's open the window because we can.
WSSS 218, push and start approved, runway 14.
Push and start approved, 14, Mauritius 20.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, shortly after takeoff we'll start serving snacks and drinks. You can find our sky menu in the seat pocket in front of you.
Flight instruments heading is 139. That seems to check. Altimeter. You know, I just listened to the ATIS and I don't remember what the altimeter was. Let's listen again.
Landing runway 02 left. Departing runway 02 center. Transition level 130. Advise on initial contact, you have information India. Changi Airport information India, 0144 Zulu, wind 330 at 3 few clouds at 1,800, ceiling 30,000 broken, temperature 30, dew point 26, QNH 1011. Landing runway 02 left.
1011.
Departing runway 02.
1011. Okay. Ah, now it wants more doors open. Cool. Entry 2. Oh, is that... did I open the wrong door? I may have. I did. Okay. That explains a lot. Let's close that door again. So somehow the crew and pilots were able to board without the door open, thanks to GSX. But anyways, we don't care about that. It looks like we've actually got... Can we see anybody coming down that gangway? No. I can hear the sounds in the back, so... Okay, let's get our route loaded. Well, we got 1 out of 337 passengers loaded so far. It's going to take a while. So we planned this on SimBrief. We're going to be departing Singapore, flying to Jakarta, and it'll be... doesn't tell us the altitude here. I don't know why the tiller keeps moving, by the way. I don't know if it's the hardware being super sensitive or what. Alright, I'll take you back to this screen here. So we did check this. Parking brake is set. I don't know why it never detects this. The parking brake is set. Okay. So I'm going to use the actual physical buttons again because I'm testing this. Some lovely person on this Batnext Discord by the name of... I want to give him credit because he went through a lot of work. Darewell created a snippet for this, which is great. So the buttons work, and Connex, the developer of Batnext, has done all the work required to make this work only 2 days after launch, which is amazing. So we'll set the payload, set the fuel, and I'm going to change one thing real quick that I forgot. I wanted to also turn on my Virtual Airlines ACARS. Alternate will be Whiskey India Papa. Flight number is... what is our flight number? Singapore Airlines... I should probably know this. 0950. Our altitude will be 37,000 feet. We've got 337 passengers, and we have cargo of, just check it on my tablet here, 16,900. Let's complete all the fields. Am I missing something? Do I actually need this? Apparently. Okay. Back to this. Select that route. Initial altitude 37,000. That's good. You know what I need? I need a phone holder for this yoke here, actually. That would be something new to buy. Yep, that's what I need. Okay. Forecast wind data, uplink, perfinet, uplink, route, uplink 1, ready, load.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, the message light did work, actually. Works really, really well. Okay, it is loaded, activate, execute. So if we have a quick look at our route, pretty short, there's not many waypoints, but we will accept the 0 fuel weight, and there we go. Flight level 370, that's what we wanted. Okay. We can actually, let's do our, let's get our clearance from beyond ATC here. Clearance Singapore 950 heavy. We'd like to pick up our IFR clearance to Jakarta with information India.
Singapore 950 heavy, Singapore delivery. Thanks for India. Expect runway 02 center, and it's 7 Alpha departure. Squawk 6051.
Boarding pass, please.
I gotta move this mouse out of the way. There we go. Expect runway 02 center, and neat 7 Alpha departure. Squawk 6051. Singapore 950 heavy. It's so weird. I feel like it's missing something. It didn't actually give me a clearance as file or anything like that.
950 heavy. Read back correct. Contact ground 125.65 when ready for push or start.
Contact ground 125.65 when ready for push or start. Singapore 950 heavy. Okay, so 02 center and 7 Alpha departure. Execute that. Quick check in the legs. That looks pretty good now. If I switch this over to the plan view, we can actually step through it, and it looks like we take off, make an immediate right turn, and head south. Which makes sense because 02 will take us to the north. I'm expecting an arrival. I'm going to put this in now since we're waiting for passengers to load. I'm expecting, and this may change, because my departure runway did change from what I had in SimBrief. ILS 7 right, all pass transition, and the star will be, as we're expecting, Booney 2 Foxtrot. And we'll get that in there. And again, let's have a quick step through.
We are ready for startup and push.
That looks like a pretty solid flight plan right there. Happy with that. Just having a quick look at the charts for our departure, because they didn't clear me to any specific altitude, so just the departure, and it looks like that'll be over to Verret at flight level 160, so I'm going to put 16,000 on the altitude and the MCP here. There we go. Our departure runway is 02 center, so that is 23 degrees. We'll put that in the heading. And we'll do the speed in a minute here. Might as well turn the flight directors on so I don't forget about them, as I like to do. Now, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to see about a
210 degrees, 8 knots. Copy that.
Good morning.
Oh, I know. I just need a magnet here. I probably have one still. Yeah, we'll come back to that after the flight, or maybe at cruise. We'll do our shopping and cruise, right? That seems more appropriate. 210 out of 337 passengers. That's good. We're making progress. Looks like the cargo is all done. So I'm actually going to go and close the cargo doors. Close those. We can... Oh, interesting. All the doors are open currently? Oh, no, sorry. That means to open them. I don't know why entry 5... Why these two aren't armed. Alright. Over to our performance tool. So we are runway 02 center. We'll get all the data loaded in. We'll grab the weather. We want optimum flaps config, and we will calculate. What do we end up with? Okay, now there's a cool thing that you can do in here that brings the tablet over here, so we can kind of see this on one screen, even though I'm really looking at my physical display here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But we are going to do thrust limit. We've selected temperature 45 degrees Celsius. We're going to take off 2. Alright, and then flaps 5. I'll get a CG percentage in there. 145. Okay, so that's slightly different. 148. 152. And 158. And we'll put 158 in the MCP. Perfect. That's our CDU pre-flight done, and now we can try to move this back over here, which is always difficult to get to afterwards.
Alpha 043, taxi holding point 30 right, via Sierra Russia. Taxi Sierra at Alpha 43.
Okay. I think still looking good here. We might as well get the APU started, and that will be on the overhead on the left side there. APU on and start.
Sierra right, Alpha hold short runway 30 right. Sierra right, Alpha hold short runway 30 right. It's there 994.
We'll go outside for that and see if we can hear it fire up. It's a nice view. I like this airport. This airport scenery is really cool. Like that building over there. It's very neat.
Good day, Dolman 180, Charlie C with Bravo, quick push and stop.
Good day, Dolman 180.
Interesting that that cargo door is still open.
Start for New York, stand runway 30 right, unit 999.
Thank you, we've got QNH 999, push start approved, own discretion, place east, and we will start a BC Charlie C and Dolman 180.
Closing. APU is starting, but I can't hear it outside. Maybe we can... That's a different airplane. Take it off.
Ready, taxi. Still 2 is taxi holding point 30 right, Kilo right on Alpha.
Holding point 30 right, Kilo right on Alpha, 228.
Yeah, I guess it's not very loud, it's such a big plane. But it does now say APU running, which is good, which means at this point we can dismiss the GPU, but we'll wait a minute until the boarding is finished. We can do part of our checklist here. Flight deck door closed and locked. MCP, we have a V2-158 heading 023, altitude 16,000 feet. Takeoff speeds V1-148, VR-152, V2-158. CDU pre-flight is completed. Trims, we want... This EFB is laggy sometimes. We want a trim of 4.84. which is hard to see, but we're looking down here. So we want that to be about 4.84. So we have to tell that's probably like, that's 5, so maybe a little less than that. That's close enough. That is boarding completed. Is that jetway going to retract on its own? Possibly not yet. But it means we can shut the doors. Close all doors.
Sir, Park stand 13, destination Islamabad, requested level 350, POV 217, requesting push and start.
We'll arm that as well.
208, POV 217, copied. Stand 13, pushback, start approved, runway 25 left.
Okay, we'll also then close our window here. I like how it's got a window not closed sticker here, just in case you weren't certain. If you see that, the window is open. This over here, that over there. Okay. Trim is set. Takeoff, taxi and takeoff briefing. Well, we don't have a co-pilot with us, a first officer, so we're doing this ourselves. It's going to be quite a long taxi. Actually, I think I can put this on here. I haven't played with this. Let's see if the... I think the charts...
Yes, sir, 2111, taxi via Tango, right Alpha Hold short runway 3 for the right, it's Alpha 9.
Copy, taxi by Tango, right on Alpha, holding point, please right Alpha 9, at Alpha 211.
Airport chart. It's a big airport, lots of charts. Airport info. Let's pin that. So you set zoom full screen. We are here. We're going down here. So it's going to be a fairly lengthy taxi. Can you drag this? Yes, you can. That's good. So we'll leave that open, but it looks like we're probably going to be taxiing via Tango. That's my guess. So that's our taxi and takeoff briefing completed. Beacon on. And that is the 4-star checklist complete. Alright, let's call for push and start. Have we switched over to ground yet? Yes, we have. Ground, Singapore 950 Heavy, ready for push and start.
Singapore 950 Heavy, Singapore ground, pushback approved, face southeast.
Pushback approved, facing southeast, Singapore 950 Heavy. Alright, let's get GSX back. I hate that you have to click this twice. It's such a clunky software, but nothing else does what this does, unfortunately. Okay, the jetway's pulling away. We do have the APU running, so we can go ahead and disconnect all the other ground equipment.
306, 12, Gulf Air coming in by November, we're ready for taxi.
Or not.
Taxi approved via November Echo Hotel for holding point 25 left.
There we go. So weird. Sometimes you can just do that, sometimes you can't.
306. Delivery on General 105, we're ready.
Original 105, contact control 121.75.
Control 127.5 on General 105, good day.
Good day.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Hello, ground, finish entry on
I can see her down there, just walking around.
Front taxi via Charlie, all shuttle Victor 24.
Continue by Charlie. Also the Victor 2 hold.
Here comes the tug. It said about a flight of an hour and 20 minutes, so we have about 15 minutes before we should be departing. I think we're looking pretty good. We're looking right on time, I think. So our window heat's on, hydraulics are on. Everything else is pretty much on auto up in this thing. What is happening? Okay. Southeast, that would be nose to our left.
Advise continue taxi via Charlie and Papa 2 gateway.
Charlie, Papa 2 gateway.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, start the right engine first. Engine on start and fuel.
Gentlemen, on behalf of the crew, I ask that you please direct your attention to crew members as we review the emergency procedures. There are 6 emergency exits on this aircraft. Take a minute to locate the exit closest to you. Note that the nearest exit may be behind you. Should the cabin experience sudden pressure loss, stay calm and listen for instructions from the cabin crew. Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and nose like this. Pull the strap to tighten it. If you are traveling with children, make sure that your own mask is on first before helping your children. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing and evacuation, leave your carry-on items behind. Life rafts are located below your seats, and emergency lighting will lead you to your closest exit. We ask that you make sure that all carry-on luggage is stowed away safely during the flight. While we wait for takeoff, please take a moment to review the safety data card in the seat pocket in front of you. Thank you for your attention.
We're going to leave TCAS off because PMDG thinks it may be related to some WASM crashes that they've been experiencing with this plane. They were experiencing it with the 737 as well, which is a real pain in the butt because TCAS is kind of nice to have. It tells you when other planes are getting in your way. But it is what it is. I would rather not have the plane freeze up, hopefully. Left engine EGT is coming up. Shouldn't go past this red line, which you probably can't see on the camera because it's not that small, but you can see it on the screen here. Right there. Once that red line goes away, like that, we should hear a click. That was the click. That means the start switch went back to the norm position, which my overhead doesn't do, of course, unfortunately. And we now have 2 good engines, which means we can turn off our APU.
Please set parking brakes. Unlocking gear.
Okay. And while they're unlocking our gear, we'll continue going through the before taxi start. So anti-ice, we can check at the top. It should be all down here on auto. Recall, I don't actually know how to check recall in this one, but I'm just going to assume that's okay. Auto brake, we'll switch that to RTO. Flight controls, I often forget to check those, but it's important because otherwise sometimes I take off and nothing works, and that's embarrassing. Flight controls checked. Ground equipment, working on it.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear.
We can arm auto throttle and VNAV and LNAV.
Pakistan 305, continue taxi to Echo via
range
Alpha,
here, we'll
backtrack
go down
runway
to
18
10.
right and Echo. Hold on apron. We have incoming traffic from 18 right. Taxi to holding for runway 18 right and backtrack on the runway.
Just wait for her to give us the go-ahead that everything is clear, and then we'll call for taxi. Alright, there's the pin, and we should be good to go. So we'll just mark that off on our checklist here. Oh, I can't actually see that down here. Wait, that's amazing.
Qatari 8080, hold on taxiway exit.
If I move it there, I can actually see it on my screen down here. It's a little bit of a delay. Ground equipment cleared. Before takeoff is our next checklist, so flaps 5, we can set that now as well. Ground Singapore 950 Heavy, ready for taxi.
Singapore 950 Heavy, runway 02 center taxi, via Papa 6, Papa 5, Tango, Tango 12.
And the flaps extending. It's a nice view.
On holding point.
Taxi to runway 02 center via Papa 6, Papa 5, Tango, Tango 12, Singapore 950 Heavy. Papa 5, 6, 5, so straight ahead, down to the right, along Tango, as I suspected, all the way to Tango 12. Dude, and we've got this sped up 30 minutes and we haven't moved. Hopefully we don't have to go back to the gate for something. Taxi lights on. That's already set. I think we're good to taxi. Parking brakes off. Let's give it a little bit of gas. And we're moving. So this is Papa 5 ahead of us, and we're going to turn right on Tango. This thing taxis so quickly once it gets moving. It's kind of, I'm surprised how quickly it taxis. Alright, this is Tango. We're going to go all the way down, then we're going to play chicken with that little plane ahead of us, because we are much bigger now. We'll just take another look out the right window, because that's a cool view. Oh yes, the beauty of injected traffic that nothing is aware of. Also feels like the planes are taking off in the opposite direction that we're going to be taking off. But I did check the actual real world weather, and wind is variable at 1. There's basically nothing there. Exclamation setup. That's probably something we should implement if I do this more often. Hey, what do you think, Rumpo? I should maybe write a small article with a list of all the stuff I have in this setup here, and we could link it to that. I don't know. In the meantime, Simon, if you've got a specific question about anything, just ask. Let me know. I'll point at stuff. But it's a whole thing that I built. I built this pedestal here. I built this glare shield to sort of fit all the stuff that I've accumulated over the past 4 years. And we're speeding again. This thing taxis just so quickly. Basically, taxis on idle. The throttles are on idle, and it just still runs away from me.
Thank you, Domin 450.
Yeah, I could probably do that. It's probably a good idea. We're gonna run right into another Air Asia Airbus here ahead of us, because it's got us taken off the opposite direction of real world traffic. We'll blame Beyond ATC for that, but I also know that we cannot fight it. It wants what it wants, and that's what it'll get. Fortunately, there's no collisions. But let's go to the back seat so we don't have to see this. I'll just enjoy this as a passenger.
Thank you, taxi holding point, runway 36, left, flight, left, left, Papa Quebec Alpha.
Still going too fast. Can I actually brake? Oh yeah, I can. Ooh, when I brake, it actually makes me move. Yeah, see, they're taking off in this direction. We're going to be taking off in the opposite direction.
6 taxi to holding point Kilo via taxiway Mike Charlie.
Taxi Mike Charlie, holding point Kilo, red cap 6268.
This is a big, big airport. Have a quick look at our next checklist, which should just be after takeoff checklist, yeah.
Hours 30 minutes to hour 30 range at 6268.
Okay, we are coming up on... We just passed Tango 10, Tango 11, we want Tango 12, which is the middle one, not the one at the very, very end. Tango 11.
Singapore 950 heavy, contact Singapore Tower, 131.4.
Tower on 131.4, Singapore 950 heavy. Tower, Singapore 950 heavy, holding short, runway 02 center at Tango 12, ready for departure.
Singapore 950 heavy, Singapore Tower, wind 330 at 3, runway 02 center, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 02 center, Singapore 950 heavy. Okay. Lights. We'll get the terrain on and traffic on.
Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff.
Don't really need traffic on here because TCAS is off. So we can actually turn traffic off. I do want to just check the doors real quick. It says doors auto / manual. It usually just says auto. So I just want to double check that we don't have like a door open or something stupid. I think it's just because I manually opened some doors earlier. I armed some doors manually. I think that's all that's referring to. But we'll have a quick peek down at the EFB here just to be safe. Door management. Arm all. Let's just arm them all. So, and now it says doors auto. There we go. I feel better about that. Just gonna put the phone aside here. Don't want to be texting and taking off. Turn taxi lights off. We are ready to go. Let's advance the throttles a bit. And auto thrust.
Airspeed's live. $80 knots.
V1.
Rotate.
And gently pull back on the yoke.
Positive rate of climb.
Get the gear up. I'm going to hand fly this for a little bit. Let's hope the sim doesn't freeze. If it does, it'll happen within the next minute. I think if we make it the next minute, we'll be alright. Gears up. Alright, let me go and accelerate. So we pitch the nose down a bit.
Singapore 950 heavy, reset transponder. Squawk 6051.
Oh, that's right, I did not. Squawk 6051, Singapore 950 heavy. Let's get the autopilot on while I do that. I forgot to set the transponder. 6051. I should do it.
Singapore 950 heavy, contact Singapore departure 120.3.
Departure 120.3, Singapore 950 heavy. God, I love AI voice recognition. It's so much better than it used to be. Departure, Singapore 950 heavy, climbing through 3,500 for flight level 160.
Singapore 950 heavy, Singapore departure identified. Climb to flight level 180.
Climb to flight level 180, Singapore 950 heavy. Alright, 180. Right. I wish I would have hand flown a bit longer, but because I forgot about the squawk, that kind of screwed me up. From where and where are you from? Are you going? Oh, I'm flying from Singapore, which we just left. In fact, if I look outside behind us, flying Singapore Airlines from Singapore, from Changi, Singapore.
We are now climbing to our cruising altitude. We will be starting our in-flight service shortly.
And we are flying to
You can find our
Jakarta in
in
Indonesia.
front of you.
Flight is supposed to take an hour and 20 minutes, which is exactly what we have scheduled for in the stream, so we should be hopefully right on time. Our after takeoff checklist is all green. Landing gear up, flaps are up, so let's get that moved over. Next one is the descent one, which we do not need, so let's put, what do we want to put on there? Not doors. I don't know what the best one to put on there usually is. Flight controls, fuel, maybe we'll do fuel. We got a little bit of turbulence here. How much did it cost to build all that? All this? It depends on whether or not you're counting the actual computer hardware, but let's assume for a minute that we're not. I don't know, somewhere between $10,000 to $15,000 probably. Around that. Count the computer and software, probably looking more like 25. So it is holding us at 9,000. There must be an altitude constraint. There is at Vanbu, which is quite a ways out still. There's a below 9,000, so that's where we're kind of just puttering along here at 250 knots, 9,000 feet. But that's actually the perfect opportunity to go have a look in the cabin. Oh, look at this. First class. It's the first time that PMDG, well, PMDG's only had the 737 for Microsoft Flight Simulator so far, but now they have a fully modeled cabin, which is pretty nice actually. This one, this livery, it doesn't have a lot of the details in it that you would expect from other ones. I've seen some that definitely had more, as far as like cabin decorations and airline logos and all that kind of stuff. Probably should have updated my charts over here to actually use the departure and stuff that I was using. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now starting our in-flight service. We'd like to remind you that we accept card payments as well as cash. You can find our Sky menu in the seat pocket in front of you. Please remain seated while we serve you. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask one of our cabin crew members. Thank you.
Turn right, heading 260, China is at 272.
Right down, Romeo, turn right, heading 260.
Roger, turn Romeo. Romeo turn, heading 260, China is at 272.
Pretty smooth here so far. You can see the wing flexing just a bit. That looks so nice.
Senior 74, turn left heading 040.
Left heading 040, minute 74.
coming up on another turn here in a moment. There we go. Let's look out the right side. See some quite a bit of traffic down there. It looks like there may be a bit of a traffic jam. There are some cargo ships down there that are causing issues. That's kind of cool to see, though. Yeah, so the issue I had with the airplane freezing the sim yesterday when I was testing things seems to have been specific to one location in Africa or something that I was flying. It's very odd. This is a nice view with the clouds out there. I love it when there's some actual weather in the sim. It's not just blue skies, no clouds. You know, that's great for flying, but it's also really, really boring to look at. This is so much more interesting to look at. We're about 9.19 miles away from Vanbu, which is our altitude restriction. Once we get past that, we should be climbing up to flight level 180. And when we're hitting that, we'll head back into the cockpit shortly after that. But it's kind of nice sitting back here in the cabin. It's nice and quiet. Get to look at this beautiful wing flex.
Finnair 74 town left heading 360.
Left heading 360, Finnair 74.
Just looking at my overhead to see if I've missed anything, but everything looks good. All the switches are where they're supposed to be from what I can tell. Plus we're in the air and everything's flying and nothing's yelling at us, so that's a good thing. Only thing left to do is altimeter standard at some point and the landing lights off at 10,000. Transition altitude looks to be 11,000, so at 11,000 feet is likely when we're going to be switching our altimeters to standard. 1.2 miles to climbing here. So let's head back into the cockpit for that. And I kind of like this view when I want to look at the instruments. There we go, VNAV speed. Engines are spooling up. And here comes the climb. Oh, listen to that. Look at it move. The engine actually vibrates and moves. I believe I read that that is the first plane that does that in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Even the other really high fidelity ones don't do that.
Gentlemen, the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. You may now move around the cabin, but we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened while seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
Finnair 74, speed at your discretion.
Okay, landing lights are off. Let's see if I was right about the altimeter. The plane doesn't think so yet, but the charts say so, so standard set.
Finnair 272, cross Soka at flight level 200.
Cross Soka, level 200, Channel 272.
Now we sit back and, well, we wait until we get some more clearances to higher altitudes.
Chennai Center 72, contact control 120.5.
120.45, good day.
Good day.
Quick look around the cabin here. You can actually click this pen. You can put the EFB up here if we want. Go back to the charts.
Singapore 950 Heavy, contact Singapore Center 123.7. Have a good day.
Center on 123.7, Singapore 950 Heavy, see ya.
Chicago 58.
Center, Singapore 950 Heavy, climbing flight level 180.
Chicago 538, control the entry.
Singapore 950 Heavy, Singapore Center. Good day identified. Climb to flight level 270.
Channel 910.
Flight level 270, Singapore 950 Heavy. Alright,
Negative, climb to flight level 270.
Apologies, flight level 370, Singapore 950 Heavy. That's amazing. His accent got me. I misunderstood an AI accented voice. I love that. Let's have a look at our, there we go, our arrival. That's our departure chart. We're pretty much just about completing that. I don't know if they have... Excuse me, I guess this is the in-flight map that we can pull up here when we no longer need charts. That looks quite nice, actually. It's not a bad looking tablet that they built with this plane.
Air France 128, contact control 125.8.
And I just want to play around with something while we're climbing here. And this, so what have I... 2, 1, 7, 4. I think 8 is not in use. It's not, okay. Good. So then I will make this camera 8. And
here, Chicago Factory, contact control 132.5. 132.5, where Chicago Factory.
just changing one of my buttons so that I can look at both of the tablet, the EFB positions, depending on where they are. There's probably a variable where I could just make that happen automatically, but now I can switch from my standard view to the first position where the EFB is not right now to the second one, which is where it is right now. Notes. And I don't think I have anything on 9 either. No, I don't. Okay. So, because there's one other thing that I would like to do when it is down here.
Channel 592 contact control 126.1. 126.1.
This button here. I'll have a secondary view, so this is going to be the short press, and this is going to be the long press.
Chennai 159 control, basic flight, on tempo level 330, report me on.
9. Save. So that means I can have this view, I can have this view, in which case if I want to bring the tablet down here to enter takeoff data and stuff like that, I can do that, and I can get rid of it again, and I can go here. Oh, it's not there. There it is. Or I can put it back on the window. Nice. Okay, we are outside of our departure chart now, so we are just climbing. And 370 is actually our final cruising altitude, so we've cleared all the way up there. I don't really think we need the terrain radar on, but we can put the weather radar on and see if we actually see anything on here. It looks like, just by looking out the window, it's pretty clear out there. But I have not yet used the weather radar. It's just the regular little weather radar that's not great, but it's better than nothing kind of thing. It's very interesting, by the way, that here, this little green banana line is the line that the computer thinks we're going to reach the altitude that we programmed in. But this red, this little green circle with the T/C, top of climb, is also when we should be hitting 37,000. So I'm not curious as to why these two are not aligned. That's a little bit odd. It kind of feels like a bug, but I'll also turn the VORs on. There's probably nothing for them to point at the moment. And out here we probably want airports on, and there are no airports around that we can land at, which makes sense. It's a pretty big bird, not much around.
Breaking 204 Kilo Delta, contact control 126.1.
126.1, counting 204.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This is such nice views from the outside. I just painted 4 liveries of this airplane yesterday and today, and it's pretty easy to do, and looks really cool.
Singapore 950 Heavy, contact Jakarta radar 120.9. Have a good day.
Jakarta radar 120.9, Singapore 950 Heavy. Radar, good morning, Singapore 950 Heavy, climbing to flight level 370.
Singapore 950 Heavy, Jakarta radar identified.
I love that wingspan. I wish you could see my screen on the right. I don't think I can. Yeah, I can't really turn this camera at the moment. But I can see the moon up in the sky there. That looks so cool. Maybe actually if I switch to... No. There it is. See it now. Moon in the sky, contrails from plane, and the little lights from another plane here flying in the opposite direction. Pretty cool. Oh, and I just see there are some tiny specks that there's no way are going to make their way through the compression of Twitch. Well, maybe if I zoom in tiny little specks of green here on the radar, on the weather radar, about 50 miles out. And that's probably some of the clouds over in that direction. I love the wing flex. It is so cool. And then hearing the sound of the wind howling by, it's really neat. By the way, you see how the green banana and the top of the climb are now aligned? So I guess it was just its guess was the flight computer gets more and more accurate with its guesses as you get closer to things, so that kind of makes sense. Looks like there is a plane flying directly ahead of us, just slightly below us, because we're following this contrail here. And we are now at cruise altitude. Oh, I can't drag this? Interesting. Do I have to unlock that? Okay. You would have thought that if you drag it, it would just automatically unlock, but I guess not. The zooms are also like really, really large. But here's our route into Jakarta. We'll be flying mostly over the, I believe this is the Sea of Java, or not yet, but it will be. We are going to be flying over this island first. Let's just go back to that. What is this altitude profile? Oh. That's cool. Switch map. Ah, here we go. Navigraph chart map. Okay, this was the PMDG map. I kind of like both. Though the Navigraph one is the one that I'm much more familiar with. Change it from IFR high to world.
Kansas 727, contact control 132.5, choose.
132.5, so 725.
Pretty smooth ride so far. So I think next week I'm going to be doing farming again. Because it's time to buy our farm. We've made enough money, or we have to finish one small task, one small contract, and then we'll be buying a farm, and I'm looking forward to that. That'll be next Thursday, 7 o'clock Pacific time.
Contact control 129.3.
1293 Austin 63, looks on you.
What does this placard say here? I'll put this close again. Standby compass. Ah, cool. Pretty nice cockpit, by the way. It's quite detailed. Room for 2 more people behind us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now starting our in-flight shopping service. Today we have a special offer for you. If you buy 2 perfumes, you will get a 10% discount on the 3rd one. On this flight, we highly recommend latest fragrances from our collection. You can find our shopping catalog in the seat pocket in front of you. We accept card payments as well as cash.
It's interesting, this is a piece of software called Cabby that plays those announcements. It played that announcement earlier during climb, which seemed premature at that time. So I'm not sure why. I wonder if it's because we were leveled out at 9,000 feet for so long.
So 986, contact control 126, decimal 1, goodbye.
126, decimal 1, good day, 7986. Maintain level 370, position pass through.
0986, control morning, identified the repair room. Contact at level 370, report Nilo.
Report Nilo, 7986, maintain level. Air China A390, flight level 360, and position Indigar.
Air China A390, it's control morning, identified the Indigar, contact at level 360, next report Kilo Delta.
Maintain level 360 and next report Kilo Delta, Air China A390.
Oh, I know what I can do. Why I'm holding my phone unnecessarily here because I'm starting to run out of battery, so I'll put that aside. I do have enough screens.
Report Vista and maintain level 340, China 423.
There we go. I just have the stream up on my second computer that's over on the side. I can put my phone away here and save some battery. Though I am going to put a little magnet on the yoke here so that I can just go plop it right there, because it actually fits like perfectly size-wise on this yoke. Without interfering, you know, my hands on the yoke, so that'll be perfect. And then I can just have it here, and I can put whatever I want on there: extra charts, chat, messages, Twitch videos. And since it's magnetic, I think I should be able to Yeah, it's thick enough it might actually fit sideways too, though. That'd be less ideal, but possible, I think.
Vietnam 37, contact control 132.5.
1325, good day, Vietnam 37.
So, I want to have a quick look at progress to top of descent at 0336. Do we have a clock here? I know we do. So 26 minutes till top of descent. 202 miles.
Golf Echo Bravo Sierra Alpha.
Golf Echo Bravo Sierra Alpha.
We can probably prepare a few things for our approach. We're going to do a flaps 25 landing. So we're good with that. That's alternates, that's FMC com.
Cathay 343 for level 380.
Cathay 343, radar contact report
I don't need
Odessa.
to do any holes.
Report up base, Cathay.
I will put in some fix rings already. Whiskey, India, India, India. A 10-mile.
Hi, it's me again. I just wanted to share some information with you. We are currently cruising at an altitude of 36,000 feet at a speed of 890 kilometers per hour. The weather in Jakarta is partly cloudy, with a temperature of 26 degrees. The rest of the flight should be smooth. In case of any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our cabin crew members. Thank you, and enjoy the flight.
You know, I'm a little bit less impressed because when I was flying in Spain the other day with this cabby software, it also had the cabin announcements in English and then followed in Spanish, which was really kind of bizarre and cool to hear my own voice speaking Spanish. It must only be doing that in certain countries. I'm assuming Spanish-speaking countries, maybe French ones? I don't know about Italy, I'll have to try that. I could see Italy being that, maybe German? Which would be actually really interesting because I do know how to speak German, and I'd be really curious to see how, or to hear rather, how an AI iterative implementation of my voice would speak German. So.
On a southern 661 and Central 360, position Kilo Delta.
Channel 100661 with radar contact report for Obla.
Report Robala and now 360, Channel 661.
This is amazing. You can see the tablet on the inside of the window. If you look closely, right here. That's where we currently have the EFB mounted. And you can see it from the outside camera. Can't see me sitting behind it because there's a glare on the glass right now. That is so cool.
Goodbye.
13275 Vietnam 119, good day.
Cathay 339 control, good morning. Radar contact report Odessa.
Thank you. Call you Ibiza, Cathay 339.
It's so interesting. Sometimes when I switch to the external camera, these popped out screens don't keep updating. Sometimes they do. Right now they do, but before that they were not. They were just statically just stuck there. Which I initially thought was, oh, maybe they've done something for performance reasons, right? It's like, oh, if you're not actually inside the cockpit, why bother updating instruments? Which makes sense. But I can't quite figure out why it shows up sometimes and not others.
Cargo 6356 flight level 177, climbing 280.
I do wonder if
356 control, radar contact, fly maintain photo 320, report gaps and twice estimate time.
I'll try something. I think I can make that top-down camera
Estimate GEPSA is 2313.
be a little bit more I think I can make it a little bit more. I can make the angle a little bit better, I think. So let me just play with that for a moment. Because this thing can go out like that.
Good day, sir. It's Golfer 200, flight level 390.
Golfer 200 identified to maintain your flight level 390.
Copy that.
Kuwait 661 حياك الله radar contact fly direct launch.
Fly direct launch Kuwait 661.
Golfer 200, 30 degrees to the right.
30 degrees to the right, Golfer 200.
Stand by, also have a traffic 320, Qatari 458, does not contact with me.
Roger, Qatari 458.
Nope, didn't work. Not without me changing or getting some sort of an extension for that little thing I've got it on. That's okay, we'll leave it as is. I was hoping to get a better angle at the actual MCP here because it's kind of covered by the, you know, this glare shield, but can't easily do that. Yeah, we'll just keep it like this. It's fine.
Mask Express 383.
Assalamu alaikum 383, just released from Jeddah 310 descending 290.
Radar contact approach 1248.
1248, Nash Express 383.
Kuwait, good area 8223.
Golfer 200. Golfer 200.
300.
Fourth. 516 to get to inshallah.
0 Davos, pass me.
Roger.
Assalamu alaikum, Kuwait 512, 280, release by Bahrain.
حياك الله, radar contact next call at 90 and expect runway 155 and 156. Correction 458, request MAC number at level 320. Qatari 8223, request your destination please.
217, Alpha.
Okay.
Emirate 9915, radio check, how do you read?
Loud and clear.
Come on. Qatari 8223.
Good afternoon, maintaining flight level 340.
Air France 165, radar contact maintain 340, Davos, pass me.
Alex, pass me, maintaining 340. Do we have to maintain Mach decimal 85? With a shift.
Vegas. 2788 report speed.
Reducing 250, 786.
Some noisy ATC chatter, jeez.
And appreciate the possible direct traffic.
Say again, Kuwaiti?
Kuwaiti 512, Shakal Abu Khair, sending 160, and approaching position Nampi. Appreciate direct parcel after Nampi.
حياك الله كويتي 512 radar contact. Confirm request 15 left or 15 right?
15 right. No, 115.
Be ready for takeoff.
Hello, Egypt Air 611, hold short 15.
Hold short 15 right, there 611.
I quite enjoy this view out of the side window, even with the EFB there, though I can just move it, get it out of the way.
Emirates 9915, ready to check Hajiri.
It's a nice view.
Come on.
And the nice thing about my setup is that I can still see all the things up front here, and even on the right screen.
Approach 124.
So we have just under 100 miles, I think, to go until our top of descent. Won't be too much longer until we're heading back down towards Jakarta.
Yeah, we had some bumps on the way in, sir, and if you can give us the ride report at 33 and 35 M. But for now, 310, we'll descend.
Roger, continue contact with 310.
Land level 310, and that's 858. Qatari 8262 heavy, flight level 370, estimating SID at 1112.
Identified, Qatari 8262.
Dubai 3, maintaining flight level 380. Dubai 3, radar contact, morning. Morning. We had flight 13, maintaining flight level 400. Without 513, identified. Yep. Emirates 235, postway 125, decimal 3. Okay. 125 decimal 3, day and rate, 81, hold 127.52, wait here.
Let's take a chance. Hey, Squires, how's it going? I'll take a chance to turn TARA on. Hopefully that will not freeze up the cockpit at some point. And it's actually kind of nice because we can see there is a plane right with us, just behind us, 1,700 feet below us. I wonder if you can see it. It's really hard to spot planes in the sky. The lights are just not as bright as you would think they would be, especially when it's a sunny day like this. I can't see it. How are you this evening, Squires? That looks an awful lot like 60 miles to top of descent. 59 to be exact. We left Singapore and we are flying to Jakarta, Indonesia. The reason I picked this route is because it's an actual route flown in this plane that's fit into the 2-hour window.
24.3 today, Dubai 3.
So we should start our descent in about 7 minutes. And yeah, it looks like we will be landing 2 minutes after the end of the stream. So we'll run a few minutes long, because obviously we're going to finish the stream and land the airplane. We're not just going to get almost there and then call it a day. But that's always the biggest challenge I have, is trying to find a flight that will fit perfectly in the window, where it won't be too much, it won't be too long, but it also won't be too short, where we're just sitting around. We already spent a whole bunch of time at the start loading the airplane, waiting for 337 passengers to get on board.
National Cargo 461 radar contact. After Rabat, Mike 677, I will call you back for higher.
After Rabat, Mike 677, you will call for higher National Cargo.
It does show the passengers loading with an add-on called GSX that I use, yes. We did not actually see them because they were in the jetway, and the jetway was not, it didn't have windows. But we could hear them, and we had to wait for them. They don't actually sit in the cabin. Like, if I go back to the cabin and look around, it is just empty, as you can see. But, it's actually quite a nice cabin. They've done a pretty good job of putting it all together. There's the doors, here's the galley. Nobody here to give us a drink, unfortunately. We go, so that was business class, I guess. We go through this. This is first class, or just more of the same. Looks like the seating configuration is the same. You can see the fasten seatbelt and no smoking signs are actually the same. In fact, if I turn on fasten seatbelts, there they go. And you can hear the little gong sound. I can set it back to auto.
Hello, this is your captain speaking. We had to turn on the seatbelt sign due to some light turbulence ahead. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
Seatbelt sign has just been turned off. You may now move around the cabin. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened while seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are expecting some light turbulence ahead.
I flipped it back and forth a few times, so now it's going to do the several times.
Seatbelt sign has just been turned off. You may now move around the cabin. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened while seated in case of unexpected turbulence. Our captain has just informed us that we are expecting some light turbulence ahead. Please fasten your seatbelts. Ladies and gentlemen, our captain has just informed us that we are expecting some light turbulence
Ladies and gentlemen, your captain
Please return to your seats and
keeps
remain
playing
seated
with buttons
until
in the
the seatbelt
cockpit.
sign is turned off. Use of the lavatories is not allowed at this time.
That's very cool. The one thing that I don't really want to hit the switch again because it's going to play that again, but I noticed the curtains that are currently closed at the front and back, the curtains actually open when the seatbelt sign is illuminated, presumably so that the cabin crew would see that everybody is seated, whereas right now they are closed, so you know, everybody is in their own little compartment here, moving back through business into economy.
Assalamu alaikum, Jazeera 1404, level 360.
Alaikum salam, Jazeera 1404, radar contact maintain 360.
So that's kind of that's pretty cool. So that was neat. There is actually that same add-on that lets you load the passengers. They have.
Singapore 950 Heavy, Jakarta radar, amendment to your route, advice ready to copy.
Oh, an amendment to our route. Advice when ready to copy. All right, let's do it. Let's see what they want us to do. Center Singapore 950 Heavy is ready to copy.
Singapore 950 Heavy, expect Beta 1 Alpha, runway 07 right.
Expect Beta 1 Alpha arrival to runway 07 right. Singapore 950 Heavy.
1231 if you have 7 left.
That did change slightly. It changed the arrival. Okay. I'm going to look at this on my chart real quick. Actually, screw it. Let's just do it. So we've got 7 right, but Beta 1. Oh boy. Yeah, something's gone wrong now. Okay, actually no, it hasn't. I just need to fix this up. So, did that actually change anything? Beta 1 Alpha. I don't even see that on my charts here. Oh, there it is. Beta 1. Okay, so how is that different from the one that we had? Oh, No, it's exactly the same. I mean, it might be slightly different, It is a different arrival, but it's the same path. So it still connects to ILS 7 right, which is what I think we're going to be flying. We'll see what they give us. Okay. Singapore 950 Heavy, we're ready for descent.
Singapore 950 Heavy, Beta 1 Alpha, runway 07 right, descend to flight level 280.
Beta 1 Alpha, 07 right, down to flight level 280. Singapore 950 Heavy, thanks. And here we go. Let's do our descent checklist. We've already started auto brakes. We're going to set auto brakes to 4 because I'm still not as comfortable with how long I need. This is a big airport, but landing. Oh, landing data. We do have our VREF already at flaps 25, 148 knots. Minimums 260. Oh, they really need to change this to make it less painful. I mean, they've done a really good job of doing that, and I just need to figure out how to do that with my controls. Minimum's 260 on the barometer. Let's get a weather update here as well, so I can get an altimeter. So I'm getting that on my iPad over here. It looks like the weather in Jakarta is scattered clouds at 1800 feet, 31 degrees Celsius, altimeter 1011. That's the same as it was in Singapore, so. And wind is 50 degrees at 10 knots. We're landing runway 07, so that's good. 10 knots, not too bad. Let me see if there is there's gotta be, I don't know where they do the winds in here. Wind data load. I didn't do that earlier. These are the cruise winds. Divert now. No, VNAV, off path. There we go. Forecast. Load.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting our descent into Jakarta. Please follow the instructions of the cabin crew as we prepare for landing. Thank you.
There we go. And we've got our descent forecast as well. Good. Auto brake 4, we are all set. Yeah, things are looking pretty good.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard from our captain, we are starting our descent into Jakarta. Please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened and your seat back and tray table are in the upright position. We will collect any remaining service items in a few minutes. Thank you.
Turn the weather radar off, but turn the terrain radar on. Because, as you can see, there's some mountains in the distance there. They're pretty far away-ish. But I'd rather see those than, it doesn't seem to be a huge amount of weather. I mean, there are some clouds, but the weather radar is not really going to help us with that. Altitude right now is 29,000 feet, and we're descending. And hopefully they'll let us descend some more. They tend to leave us high. By they, I mean Beyond ATC, the software that tells me whether or not I can descend. So they cleared us to 28,000, but we need to go higher. Because see, this pink arrow keeps going down. That's where the airplane would like us to be. This is the proper place to be, and you can see this little number over here going up. That is how much we are above profile. That is above what we should be. So but I don't think that Beyond ATC is able to. Actually, they clear us for the. No, they said expect. Radar Singapore 950 Heavy would like to descend.
Singapore 950 Heavy, request not understood.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We'll give them a little ways and see if they will get us down further. There it is.
Singapore 950 Heavy, descend to flight level 210.
Flight level 210, Singapore 950 Heavy. So sometimes they may have us on a slightly different, because they might vector us later. Or the software's just not as good. But you can see here it says 210 Alpha, 210A. That means at this waypoint, Luvax, we have to be above flight level 210, so above 21,000 feet. So, you know, maybe it just... We're still a little high. I can get the speed brakes out to help us with that. So... It's working, right? Yep. So that makes us descend faster. Now we're descending at 4,000. So we are catching up. This number is going down. So 5,000, that's pretty rough for the passengers in the back. But it is one way to kind of catch up, because ATC didn't really give me as much warning or lead time to descend as I would have liked. But that's very common with these software pieces. They're getting better. I just don't quite trust them. Because one way that they could make that work is, like, we don't have to be that low right now, because as you can see, we're going to hit 21,000 here, and we need to be above 21,000 there anyway, so what's the point of being down there that early? So generally speaking, it is better for the airplane to be at higher altitudes, because the fuel there is usually, fuel usage is more efficient. Discovered something else cool. It's kind of sunny out, so let's we can close this shade here. Zoop. And I bet you we can see that from the outside as well. Kind of hard to tell, but I believe so, yes. Yeah, see, now we are slowing down a bit, making our turn. I'm gonna just trust the ATC for now and see how we do.
Singapore 950 Heavy, descend to 13,000 feet, QNH 1011.
Oh, that's lovely. Down to 13,000 feet, QNH 1011, Singapore 950 Heavy. That's great. Lower altitude and a QNH, which I already looked up before, but that's great that it gave us that. Really, really good. We're still like 900 feet above the profile that the plane would like us to be at, but see, what's in the interesting part about this setup, the physical setup in my cockpit, is that the bottom half of the screen, like, I can't actually see it. So where my mouse is right now, like right here, that is, anything below that I can't see physically. I would have to lean forward. So sometimes I'll move the camera down to see something on here. But I also don't really need to see it, because I have it on these displays in front of me. So everything I need to see is actually there. But you can still see it. Approach on 130.1, Singapore 950 Heavy, see ya. Approach Singapore 950 Heavy on the Beta 1 Alpha arrival at 19,000 feet. I butchered that, but whatever.
Singapore 950 Heavy, verify information Foxtrot.
We will get Foxtrot, Singapore 950 Heavy.
Singapore 950 Heavy, verify information Foxtrot.
Singapore 950 Heavy with the numbers.
Singapore 950 Heavy Jakarta approach. QNH 1011 expect the ILS runway 07 right with the all-pass transition.
That's what we have. Expect 07 right ILS with the all-pass transition, Singapore 950 Heavy.
Negative, runway 07 right and QNH 1011.
Sorry, I said the wrong thing. Sorry, runway 07 right, QNH 1011, Singapore 950 Heavy. Just want to double check that I do indeed have the right thing in here. 7 right. We did not have the transition. That might be why. It didn't really, I don't think it changes the flight plan very much, but it did add a small leg, which might be why the air, we're still higher than the plane would like us, but I think the airplane is generally much more conservative around altitudes, so not really surprised. But yeah, we did not have the all-pass transition in there, so it made it slightly different. So what it did was, I think we had it go from Dakar here and then directly there, so it was like zoom over, and now it has one little extra leg there, so it gives us a little bit more running room to descend. But we're still high, so I'm going to pull out the speed brakes a little bit, get us to descend a little bit faster. Because we are supposed to be at flight level 130 right now, and we're high. So there's actually a restriction at Emson for 13,000 feet.
Singapore 950 Heavy descend to 10,000 feet.
10,000 feet, Singapore 950 Heavy. So we'll just leave the boards out, the speed brakes out, so we can keep descending down and catch up. Because the next waypoint, in 9 miles, we're supposed to be at 10,000, so we're still a bit behind. But if it was too easy, then what would be the point? We wouldn't have to do anything. We would just sit here. Altimeters set 1011. And 1011 on the right side as well. Getting closer now. We are just 100 feet above profile. Now we're slowing down as well. Probably retract the speed brake. Actually, nope. We need some drag to slow down because we're also supposed to slow down to 240.
Singapore 950 Heavy descend to 7,000 feet.
7,000 feet, Singapore 950 Heavy. And landing lights, come on! Speed brake extended, yes I know. That's basically yelling at me saying, hey, you don't need that anymore. Yeah, 7,000. See, now we're nicely on profile. They cleared us for that early, so it's all good. Ten minutes to go on the stream, slightly longer probably to land, I would suspect, and probably more like 20 minutes before we're on the ground. but nothing wrong with that. Got time. Let's have a look out the left window. That is a nice view. I'm actually going to go through some of those clouds, I think. Oh, I'm going to turn TCAS off because that is a problem with this airplane. They said around 2,000, but really I'm probably just going to start turning it off at 10,000 from now on, if I remember. Cabin is ready. Pilot is ready. Airplane is ready. Everything's looking good. We can complete our approach checklist. The altimeters are done. And landing checklist will just be the gear and flaps 25. So we'll get there when we get there. Alright, we should be getting more. Probably gonna get cleared for the ILS soon. There's a plane right in front of us. Right there. That one's on approach already. Or no, it's not. Well, maybe it is.
Singapore 950 heavy, descend to 5,000 feet.
5,000 feet for Singapore 950 heavy. Almost forgot the heavy
Singapore
part.
950 heavy, cleared direct all pass, cross all pass at or above 5,000 feet. Cleared ILS runway 07 right.
Cleared direct all pass, cross all pass at or above 5,000, then cleared for ILS 07 right, Singapore 950 heavy. So that means we are cleared all the way down to 3,000 essentially, which is the glide slope. We are now cleared for the ILS approach. We're 100% go. The next thing will just be handover to tower and then the landing clearance. The nice thing of that is it told us direct all pass, but we're already going there anyway, so didn't have to do anything there. We were already cleared to 5,000, so that was a little redundant, but that works well. I guess we were going to report established on that as well once the ILS shows up. It is. I'm just going to verify it against the chart. India Charlie Hotel Romeo is the ILS 110.5, 68 degrees. That all looks correct. So the computer knows where we're going. And we already slowed down to 210. Looks like we're going to be about to slow down to 190 as we, that's a speed restriction at all pass. And we're probably just going to keep going 190 all the way through to code tab, and then we're going to slow down once we establish on the localizer and get the flaps out and everything, then get ready for landing. Alright, I can now see the glide slope indicator and the ILS indicator, these little diamonds here, there, and there, which means we can hit approach. That'll arm localizer and glide slope, so when we make that turn, once this comes down, it will capture that, and once this comes over, it will capture that. And might as well go flaps 1 at this point. And localizer is capturing. And we'll let them know on the approach. Approach, Singapore 950 Heavy, established on localizer.
Singapore 950 Heavy, roger.
Love that. Oh, there's a plane ahead of us. This is a good thing I have the TARA off, because it would be yelling at us probably, and there's nothing we can do about that plane anyway. But it would probably only cause issues, and nothing else. 14 miles out. I think that plane either just went in the clouds or got removed. Let's do flaps 5. And here comes the glide slope. Visibility is a bit shit right now. Drag required. Yeah, down to 170. Well, we're going to get drag with flaps 15 and gear. That should give us plenty of drag. Speed brake is armed. So we just have... I never remember if it goes to, does it have a flaps 20 or is it just, yeah it does, okay. I'm going to land with auto throttle engaged. I didn't last time and that was fine, but from what I understand...
Take your seats for landing.
Okay, I now have manual speed control. From what I understand is they usually actually land with the auto throttle on. So let's do flaps 20, slow down some more. Turned off.
Singapore 950 Heavy, contact Soekarno-Hatta Tower 120.25.
Tower on 120.25, Singapore 950 Heavy. Still don't really see the runway. It's somewhere in that mess of fog over there. Tower, Singapore 950 Heavy, established on ILS, runway 07 right.
Singapore 950 Heavy, Soekarno-Hatta Tower, wind 070 at 7, runway 07 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 07 right, Singapore 950 Heavy. Whew. That wind is no joke by the looks of it. Once I can see the airport, I'll hand fly the rest of the approach, but it's definitely... wind doesn't seem that bad. It's supposed to be just some bits of gust. Alright, let's get established here on flaps 25, and we'll go 153 on the speed, which is our reference speed of 148 plus 5. Just because we are being shaken around quite a bit here.
44523, window
that wing moving. There is an airport down here, right? I still don't see it. We're still 4 miles out. I'm probably too slow, too early, but land 3, so it is on an auto land right now, so we could let it auto land, but prefer landing manually for some reason. Actually, if I want a good landing rate, I'll let the plane do it. If I want to just feel good about myself, I'll do it myself with the risk of feeling bad about myself. Still don't have a runway. Plenty of buildings and stuff where we don't want to land the plane, but no runway.
1,000.
I think there might be a runway ahead of us there now. So we're landing 7 right. It's a long runway. Okay, and we've got lots of turnoffs. Probably going to be hitting S3, Sierra 3. Is that a river next to the... Or is that... Because it looks to me like... This looks like a runway. That looks like also a runway, but it might be... I don't know what that is. This is our runway though. Why are there no lights on? That's a road or something. I think. Is that... Yeah, that's not a runway. This is a runway. There we go. Get some lights. Still don't have poppy lights. Now they're coming into sight. Just barely. Alright, here goes nothing.
Approaching
Manual control. I'm not going to touch the throttles. It should do that all itself, and I think it's even going to do the reverse itself.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Idled nicely. Ooh. Is it going to do the reverse? No, I gotta do the reverse myself. Okay. I can do that. Or not. Why won't you reverse? Or did it reverse? It's just not showing me. It did. It's not showing for some reason.
Singapore 950 Heavy, exit left at Sierra 3.
Exit Sierra 3, Singapore 950 Heavy. Yeah, there's something wonky with these. This has got to do with my
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jakarta. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign has been turned off. Please make sure you have all your personal belongings with you before you leave the aircraft. On behalf of the crew, I would like to thank you for flying with us today. We hope you had a pleasant flight and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon.
Didn't know that about this plane. I am very, very happy with that landing though. That was really good. Speed brake is up. Okay. That is Sierra 3, just like I had guessed. Thanks, Squires. Hope it wasn't too scary as a passenger. Get the flight directors off. VOR's already off. We are expecting gate Gulf 3. Wonder if we can tell GSX this. Gulf 3. Show me the spot. Okay, it's way over there. It's like a long way out.
Singapore 950 Heavy, contact ground 123.15. Have a good day.
Ground on 123.15, Singapore 950 Heavy. Ground Singapore 950 Heavy, request taxi to gate.
Warning, hold shuttle whiskey 10 gateway.
Singapore 950 Heavy, welcome to Soekarno-Hatta Airport. Stay parking or advise if need assignment.
Request gate Gulf 3, Singapore 950 Heavy.
Singapore 950 Heavy, gate Gulf 3 taxi via Sierra 3, Sierra Charlie 3, Sierra Papa 1, Whiskey, Charlie 1, November, Papa 1, November, Charlie 5.
Oh boy. Taxi to gate Golf 3 via Sierra 3, Sierra Charlie 3, Sierra Papa 1, Whiskey Charlie 1, November Papa 1, November Charlie 5, Singapore 950 Heavy. That is a long taxi. We're going to go all the way around. I don't know if we can see this. You can see the arrow over there? That's where we want to go. So we have to go all the way around this airport. But that's actually kind of cool. And the good thing is this thing taxis quite quickly, so... Those were some good taxi instructions. They're right on the money. Whenever I play with a program called Say Intentions that does similar things to this, it has real trouble with the taxi. And this one seems to be just... It does so well. I'm incredibly impressed by that. On the other hand, in some airports it will literally just say, I don't know how to taxi you there, so I'm not going to let you use this program at all, which is a real pain in the butt. Because it's like, I would rather it just tell me that it can't give me instructions and just say something like, taxi at your own discretion or something, because the rest of the flight would still work perfectly fine. But that's the choice that they made, and it is what it is. There's another plane coming down on the left there. Same landing that we just did. That looked harder than ours, though. Is that Air Asia? Seems to be very. Seems to be a lot of them around here. So that's not the one we want. I think we want the next turn off to the right, which should be Sierra Papa 1. Or that's what we're on now, and then that will be Whiskey Charlie 1. Yeah, we are on Sierra Papa 1. Right turn to Whiskey Charlie 1. That sign seems out of place over there on the left, but... This is a really nice looking airport too. I downloaded this scenery from flightsim.to and it was free. It's a good looking, very good looking scenery looking out the window here. Even in this foggy haze in Jakarta.
Number 319 follow and Boeing 737 on your left, taxi via Alpha to holding point, runway 3 contact.
Yeah, this is Whiskey Charlie 1, and we'll keep going right past this, and then we'll make a right turn on November Papa 1, and then loop around to gate Golf 3. I don't usually actually taxi to the gate that it gives me, but I just really enjoy the fact that Beyond ATC will actually assign me a gate, so I actually want to go through the effort of taxiing there. Especially after a flight that has been... It worked so well. Everything has come together and worked as it is supposed to, which is rare. More rare than it should be in Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's cool. There's a tunnel on our left. That's very cool. So things go wrong about as much as they go right. So whenever everything goes absolutely smoothly like it has in this flight, it's just a joy. I just want to keep doing it, keep taxiing all the way. I won't go through the whole deboarding process because that'll take another 15 minutes. I won't make you sit through that. I don't want to sit through it. But I will taxi all the way over to the gate. I like how GSX gives you that little marker because it's very difficult. The one thing that seems to be really hard to find on all the charts that I have is gates and where the gate numbers are. So even when it tells you, it's like, oh, go to gate Golf 3, it's like, great, I have no idea where that is, and I can't actually find out where it is. So we'll have to use GSX to put a big fake marker in the sky there for me to find it, but, you know, it is what it is. At least I can find it that way. Doesn't look like it's super busy, so the chances of another airplane already sitting there are fairly low. If they are, we're just gonna park one gate over. I did see a new option here that said something like show me and activate, and I don't know what that meant, so I'm gonna try that. Show me the spot and activate. Oh, okay. That's cool. So they will already start prepping. A marshaller has been dispatched on site. Oh, that's cool. So the gate's going to be all ready by the time we get there. So we are now on November Papa 1. The next turnoff is going to be what we want, November Charlie 5. Oh, so it's actually at that side terminal there. It's on, I guess it is apron G. Well, it's apron F, but it's gate G. Interesting. Oh, so you can get little arrows telling us that we're going to be turning into the left. I don't see another airplane there, so that's good. It's all coming together. It's all working pretty well. It's a huge airport, man.
Japan Air 3083, continue taxi via Juliet, Alpha, number 3 correct point. Get to Soda Plus, ANA, left right 1 point, share 1, head. Japan Air 3083, taxi via Juliet, Alpha, on the point, 3 over.
I can already see the baggage carts and stuff over there. That's kind of cool. So the show me and activate is definitely the way to go. We're probably going to make this airplane disappear by getting too close to it. That's a cool looking livery. I think it's wrong. It says this is Golf 3, but according to this, it's not. That's okay though, we're going to go here anyway. It's the gate we've got. You see the lady over there with the... And the text comes up. We're a little bit too far to the... We need to go to the left. There we go. Pretty good with the left and right. 80 meters? I don't know. That feels like we're going to be hitting that that lamppost there. If we go that close, I don't think we're going to be doing that. It's clearly not aware of the lamppost, but that's okay. There we go. Set park and brake, and shut down the engines.
Japan Air 773 on Juliet. Japan Air 773 ground. Continue taxi via Juliet Alpha, number 34 left, warning point. Roger, taxi to 34 left, warning point. Juliet
You know,
Alpha,
she wasn't wrong. That wasn't a very good parking. Well, I mean, I agree, but you told me to park like this. I was 3 feet over and 1.5 feet off to the side. That's not bad. So, I think that was good parking. Having said that, that's the end of the stream. We're a little bit over, but it was definitely worthwhile. It was a wonderful flight. Thanks for hanging out with me. Next Thursday, 7 o'clock Pacific time, we're going to be back in the fields of Addingham Park. We're going to be purchasing our farm in Farming Simulator 22, and I'm very excited about it. So, until then, be sure to check out shacknews.com Lots of great articles there. I'm going to be having a review there soon about the Hori farming vehicle control system. That's coming up. And much more. I'll see you again next Thursday. Thanks so much for hanging out. Take care.